who it is most. And the reason I said it could be one of us sitting here, 750,000 to 800,000 are African Americans. That's us. That is us. Next slide. What is diabetes? Diabetes is a disease that occurs when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin, or when the cells of the body become resistant to insulin. Next slide. I want to give you some blood sugar numbers now. Go ahead. You keep going. As you see, the blood sugar, a normal, consistent blood sugar should be below 99, or 99 milligrams a deciliter. That's normally the terms they put it in. A blood sugar between 100 to 125 you consider pre-diabetes or pre-diabetic prediabetes. I want to share something with you. Science is now saying that a person that is pre-diabetic, if that is not brought into check, if you will, because some of us settle for that and say, well, I'm not a full-blown diabetic. What will happen, you will experience the same exact results that the person who has been diagnosed with full-blown diabetes. Sugar or too much glucose in the bloodstream creates inflammation. Eyes, the veins, kidneys. That's why you're going to learn that most of the time when someone is diabetic, those are the organs or to suffer. And they're going to suffer hard. Go ahead, next one. Types of diabetics. Type 1 or insulin dependent. A type 1 diabetic, the pancreas is no longer producing insulin or does not produce enough insulin to properly control blood sugar levels. This is 5% of most of your diabetics. And most of this 5% is going to be kids for the most part. And that can happen based on, sometimes they say, viral infection, but some research now is coming out that states when you consume a high amount of refined products. Someone tell me what refined products are. I hear a lot of answers. I'm going to come down real quick. Someone tell me what refined products are. I heard this sister say something.
Processed. They've been processed.
So if they've been processed, what kind of items would that be? Sugar, good, good. What else? Let me help you out. Let me give you a tip. If you have an item that looks like your tablecloth as food, 99.9% of the time it's going to be processed. Let me share something with you. If you don't know what sugar cane is, let's just use an apple. Let's just use an apple. If I took an apple or sugar cane and I squeeze the juice out on that tablecloth, when it dries, it's going to be kind of a tan color like your walls here. Now, if I took sugar cane and did the same, it's going to be the same color. When you process any item, and bread as well, flour, the same thing. When you process any item, there's a major ingredient or mineral in that the body needs, and that is called chromium. What they're finding now is that through a lot of research, as the refining process takes place, it could be flour, sugar, and even some honey they refine as well. When it's refined to that point, the chromium is taken out. When you consume the items that are high or highly refined, the pancreas has to work even harder to produce beta cells. As it overworks, there's a part of the pancreas, and I'm giving you some, maybe big terms, I don't know, it's called the islets of Langerhans. Those are destroyed. When those are destroyed, the pancreas no longer produces the beta cells to produce insulin. And that is mainly, as the science is showing, from consuming refined products. Your white bread, white flour, so on and so forth. And once the pancreas is destroyed, you're not going to produce any more insulin, and that's going to be a problem. Next slide. This is once again talking about type 1 diabetics. That's why they say juvenile, because like I mentioned to you earlier, it's because they're normally young or little kids. Type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, the body does produce enough insulin, but the cells are resistant and do not respond correctly to insulin. This is 90% of all diabetics. I'm going to go over that graphic there with you, but I'll cover that later. It'll come up, but I'm going to go over that with you. There's also a new type that they have discovered recently, and it's called type 3. Now, you can give me the next. What they're finding out is that the brain also produces insulin as well. When the cells in the brain, or there's not enough blood flow, and I'm almost giving away part of my presentation down the line, but I'll share this much with you. When that happens, it appears to be associated with Alzheimer's. The brain stops producing insulin. As a result, they have labeled this type 3, and there's still more research on it, but I wanted to put it out because you probably won't hear much about it. But sometimes when a person goes to get, and they're diagnosed with something, you want to be more educated than just accepting what they give you. And you can ask more questions now. Next slide. The warning sign. Polydipsia, polyuria, polyphagia. You can go through all of them. Are any of you experiencing some of these symptoms? Any of you? You may want to take note and go to your doctor. Have them do a good, thorough physical. Most of the time they can do blood serum, but sometimes a urinalysis as well. These are serious symptoms, and remember, as I mentioned to you, some of us are walking around undiagnosed and don't notice it. That very last one at the bottom, I'll explain it to you. You can tell when a person's body is not properly handling insulin. Sometimes they'll have, you ever seen someone where they have like a dart, it's not a circle, but a half circle that comes around the side of their face. That means that their body is not properly handling insulin. Now, it shows up in other parts of the body. I won't even go into pronouncing the name, but if you see that or if you're experiencing that yourself, that's something that you want to pay close attention to. Now, you can go to the next. Disease never comes without a cause. You all have this particular book here. I want you to open this book and follow me closely. We're opening to page, hold on just a second. Yes, page 74. Now I want someone to stand up, and I'm going to come down. I really want someone to come in and read this for me. Who has page 74 already? Page 74. In the book Pathways, Peace and Happiness. Can you read something for me? Thank you.
Disease never comes without a cause.
I want you all to know that sometimes we come down with certain diseases and we think that it just came upon us for some unknown reason or just out of the blue. It doesn't happen that way. It clearly tells us, and this is inspired writing, disease never comes without a cause. Now, when disease comes upon us, what do you think we should do? Or what do we normally do if we come down with any particular disease? Let me make it easy for you. If we got a headache, what would be the first thing we would do? Okay, now you're with me. Well, what do you think we possibly should do? Very good answer. And what she's saying, we want to try and figure out, why do I have this headache? She mentioned one good thing that we can do to deal with that headache. But I want you to follow me in the book as well. Now, as we learn, disease never comes without a cause. What is the definition? Someone give me a definition of disease. What do you think a good definition of disease is?